Hello and welcome to Vlogging About Comics, episode 6. This is my comic book vlog, and today I'm going to talk about why I decided not to buy the Green Lantern issue 17. I was going to mention this in my super fast comic book reviews, but I felt that, that's supposed to be a short video, and talking about this is going to take at least 5 minutes, maybe 10, and I didn't really want to add that much time onto my video. That's when I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do a separate vlog on this, and that way it isn't going to take time up in that, because I don't usually like doing vlogs unless I got something to talk about, and this was perfect for that. I have something that I can talk about for about 10 minutes. So yeah, so let's get to it. Why didn't I buy Green Lantern issue 17? I was looking forward to it. It was Wrath of the First Lantern was going to kick off. And I presumed, and this is down to me, that because we just had Rise of the Third Army that had ran through all the Green Lantern books, that they weren't gonna, DC were not gonna run 2 events back to back. That now we were gonna have a story that was just gonna run through the Green Lantern book. This was their next story arc. But no, they are running 2 events back to back. They think we're all made of money. They think we're all, it's boom times, there's no recession, there's no global financial crunch, we're all doing really well financially, and we can afford to buy all these extra books DC decide to link together. So yeah, so I found out by looking at websites and finding out what books were out this week, that like you had Green Lantern Corps and Green Lantern New Guardians coming out this week as well. Not only were they coming out as well, but they were going to have part 2 and part 3 of Wrath of the First Lantern. So like I say, 2 events right after each other. DC, it was bad enough that January we had about 5 events running at the same time through all your different books, and now in the Green Lantern books you're going to have 2 events right after each other. Guys, girls at DC, you are living on a different planet than the rest of us. And I want to go there because it's obviously on that planet you're living on, they have a lot of money to be able to do stuff like this. But anyway, so this left me with the decision to do I know with the end of Rise of the Third Army, I only read the Green Lantern book for that series, for all that story, except for the last 2 issues. I picked up Green Lantern Corps issue 16 and the annual, which at the conclusion of that story, and while I enjoyed them and I enjoyed the conclusion, I was a little bit lost. I think I gave both of them 4 stars in my reviews, but there were some things in the story that I was lost, and some things were kind of explained a little bit in the dialogue, but there was still some stuff that I just totally was like, what's happening there? Who's that? Why is they doing that? And I knew with this story, if I was just going to pick up Green Lantern, that it was going to be a case of I'm going to get lost again. I'm going to be lost of what's happening. And then you've got the other option of buying all the books so that I can keep up on this. And I was like, well, I can't really afford that. I don't really want to go into all my private business. Suffice to say, this week was a pretty tough week to get the money together for my comics. But I've managed to raise enough money for this week and next week's books, and then I'll get paid and I'll be okay again. But it was a big enough struggle to get that money together for the books I was already getting without adding books to that. And there were no books looking at my list that I could knock off, because all the books I'm getting were books I was looking forward to getting, and there was nothing on there that I was going to be leaving off to pick up other books. So that avenue was out. So now I had the option of just picking up Green Lantern and being lost. And then it occurred to me, well, I could just miss it out. We've just had one big event. Surely this is only going to be a short event. So, miss out getting Green Lantern for 2 months. I don't get confused. And then I can come back to the story and get the last couple of issues with Jeff Johns before the new writer comes in. I thought, sorted. Then I was reading my DC books that I got this week, and they got big double-page spread adverts for Rise of the not Rise, that was the last one, wasn't it? See, I'm getting all confused. They had a big double page advert for, let me see if I can find it. But we had this double page advert for Wrath of the First Lantern. I bet it ain't in this one. They had a double page advert. There we are. Sorry about that. So yeah, we have this double page advert, which I did like. This advert, it goes like, they have survived the Sinestro Corps War, overcome the Blackest Night, risen above the Third Army, but can the Green Lantern Corps withstand the wrath? And like looking here, you can see that this is going on until May, and it is running through every single Green Lantern book. And while I would love to pick up this story because it looks like it is going to be a good story, there's no way I can afford all these extra books. And they've just had one big, massive story. So that made it obvious to me the best course of action is to just not buy Green Lantern until the new writer comes on board and the new story begins. And it's sad because I would have liked to have owned the last issues that Jeff Johns is going to do on Green Lantern, but I refuse to be sucked into this. This isn't the first time DC have done this. They've got previous, and you know, I just cannot physically afford all of those books for 4 months to buy 3 extra books a month, right? For 4 months, what's that, like 12 extra books I will be buying, you know? I can't afford that. I just can't. I can't absorb that kind of cost. And so I made the difficult choice that I'm not going to pick up Green Lantern issue 17. I'm not going to get sucked into this whole thing. I'm just going to bypass it. And hopefully I will come back because I like the character Green Lantern. So because of that, I probably will come back. If it was another character that I probably wasn't as invested in and unlike as much, DC would have really dropped the ball on this one because that would have been me gone for good maybe. But I'm not gone for good. I'm just not going to pick up Green Lantern until this whole crossover is finished. You know, I'm really annoyed with DC at the moment. In January we had five big events running, and I'm like, you had Death of the Family, you had Throne of Atlantis, you had Rot World, you had Rise of the Third Army, and what was the other one? And Hell on Earth. 5 events that were running through January and that had been running for months. You know, DC I like the fact that DC are doing these smaller events, that since Flashpoint we haven't had a company-wide one. I do like that. I think Marvel do far too many of them. I can understand why Marvel do the big events, the company-wide ones. Avengers vs X-Men, as much as people complained about it, it was still Marvel's highest-selling comic every month that it came out. And if it's going to keep selling like that, Marvel are going to keep doing them, and I can understand that. But I always equate it back to something like the Olympics. The Olympics is a big event because it's every 4 years. If we had the Olympics every year, people wouldn't be as bothered about it. But it's because every 4 years we have this massive event. I know people that hate sport, but they will get really engrossed in the Olympics and watch all the things. They'll even watch the synchronized swimming because they're just so into watching it. And I kind of think that they could take that kind of approach with these big crossover events. They do like Avengers vs X-Men, where they have them once every 2 or 3, 4 years, and then you spend the rest of the time having smaller events and maybe building up to it. But yeah, but anyway, so I do like the fact that DC haven't done any big events since Flashpoint. But even so, these mini events need to be managed better so that they're not overcrossing so much, and that you're maximising then the potential that people can go and check out these books. If you've got 5 crossover events, there ain't no way anyone is going to go and buy every single comic for them 5 crossover events. They're going to pick the one they're most interested in and leave the others. Where if you pace them out better, people might actually go and buy all the crossover stories because it's paced out better and they can maybe afford it better. Anyway, that's enough of me moaning. Please let me know what you think. Am I overreacting? Have DC got their heads up their arses? Have they managed things wrong with this whole having 2 events right after each other? Have you had to drop any books because of these crossover events? Please let me know your opinions in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Also, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you did like this video, somewhere up here or down there there'll be a subscribe button. If you click that, you'll get in your feed every time I do a video. As always, thank you very much for watching and listening, and I hope you all have a good day, and bye for now.